What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy, Don Kizzie in the building. Can't wait to talk. And guess what? We gonna talk about it. Oh, man. Hey, I feel so elated, man. I feel so good. It's such a blessed day. And this is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Hey, ain't it Friday? Yes, sir, boy. It's Friday. It's the weekend, baby. And man, we gonna have a good y'all gotta have a good time this weekend, man. It's another weekend upon us, and just be safe out there, be careful, and just continue to keep going. Um, I'm super excited about another episode, another opportunity coming for you guys. I really appreciate you guys, and thank y'all for watching and commenting, sharing, just everything, man. It's a blessing to me every week. I'm seeing different stories, or just I'm just seeing people being tuned in, and that really blesses me, and that really helps me. If you haven't already done it, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, all. And man, just be a part of the campaign. We just steady going up, man. We weight changers out here. You did weight changes. Before you can change the world, you gotta change the weight. So just understand and know, man, that we are moving in the direction that God has us going in, and we just gonna continue to keep going. We're gonna continue to keep weighing in every week, and just making things be what they are. I really hope you guys have seen the last episode, In Love with a Stripper. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch that. What's interesting about that is when I came up with the title, well, I ain't gonna say but it just dropped into my spirit. I wasn't vexed behind it. I wasn't necessarily like, man, I don't know how people gonna receive this, and oh God, it just flowed out. And even as I was studying and researching, it really came together, And so a lot of times I think, we as ministers, we get caught up in trying to, get that, like, man, I need something that's gonna knock their socks off. But to be honest, that never was something that it wasn't it wasn't clickbait. It wasn't something that like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But, it truly was just me being aligned with the Spirit of God, and just flowing in the direction that he would have me to flow. And as I really laid it out and really was getting into it, I was just like, wow, okay, now I really, really see where we going with this. So, it makes a difference. And I'm really speaking to those who teach and preach the word, because sometimes we get caught up in trying to, come up with antics and things that are like, oh yeah, I'm about to kill him with this one. No, man, just be in your prayer closet, be prayed up, and just allow God to truly move on your behalf and speak through you, and just allow him to send you and give you what you need, and try to remove yourself out of the equation so that God can truly get the glory out of it. And it won't be just, something that you doing, or that you be like, yeah, because as if y'all seen the last episode, we talking about Samson and Delilah. Samson got above himself and was like, yeah, it's me. I'm that dude. It's not about you. I don't care what anointing you have. I don't care how much God is giving you to be able to bless the people. It ain't about you. It's about the glory of God. God getting all the praise, all the glory, all the honor, and him being, thrusted upon the throne. So I'm just thankful for the opportunity that he's given me. And without further ado, we're going to go and get into this episode. So, Father, I thank you. I love you. I honor you. And I'm excited, to be able to come before your people, to be able to share what you have placed in my heart to give. And I just want to continue to keep going higher in you. I love you so much. Praying for each and every individual that will hear this episode, and praying that not only they will receive something, but that, they will be able to go back and share it with others. I pray that I decrease, that you may increase in me, and that, your will continue to be done. So I thank you. I love you. Give them, protect them over this weekend, or whenever they watch this, continue to keep their households and their families. And, definitely just want to continue to lift them up, and just ask you to just keep them and watch over them. So I thank you. I love you. And I ask these blessings in your dear sweet Jesus' name. Amen. Y'all, let's get it. Yes, sir. The barbershop. When I was a young, little young whippersnapper, my mom used to take my brother and I to the barbershop every Saturday? Every Saturday, every other Saturday. And as you little boys, you in this room, and really the barbershop we went to, it seemed like we was always the only young kids in there. It was always grown men, just number grown men, grown men, grown men. And they in there just having all type of conversations. And I'm not gonna necessarily say I remember what the conversations were, but a barbershop is a place where men go, and they go to get to get refreshed, renewed. You know what I'm saying? Get the tight fades and look, little trim up, get the beard tight, get that edge up, crispy. You know what I'm saying? Because they stepping out. They stepping out for the weekend or for the week or whatever the occasion may be. Some might be getting ready for a wedding, getting ready for prom. Got to go to court. Some type of party. Going to the club. You know what I'm saying? Hey, whatever it is, they go in there to get tightened up. And so, so I did experience that as a young child. And as I got older, my mom used to cut my hair because it got tight for her to try to pay for our haircuts. So she decided, God rest her soul, she decided to try to cut our hair. And at that time, I was in middle school. And I was like, so I'm going to school. Woo! When you're in elementary, man, it don't matter what your head look like. Because you in elementary, all y'all kids, all y'all look horrible. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. But in middle school, it changes. It changes because, as a boy, you start looking at girls. You know what I'm saying? You like, hey, you start playing sports. So it's a lot of different things that changes when you in middle school. And so she decides to want to start cutting our hair. Now, for my brother, he was fine because he was still elementary. Me, I'm middle school. I'm like, yo, and I used to have to defend. Well, I lied, but I used to go to. I couldn't even make it to school. I'm going to the bus stop. Man, who cut your hair? Huh? Man, who cut your hair, dog? Man, no, you got the chili bowl. The chili bowl is just to cut all the way around, and ain't no fade, ain't no nothing, ain't no blending, none of that. So I'm like, oh yeah, man, my cousin was cutting my hair, and the clippers had messed up on it, so he couldn't finish. Just lying. Wow, I was not finna say my mama. Hey, man, like hey, y'all know I was in middle school. So I'm lying, just like, my cousin, man, the clippers had messed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. So, needless to say, I was like, I got so tired of that I was like, Mom, can I get the clippers? Like, let me try it. Maybe at least I can learn, because you ain't even trying to learn. You just cutting. You see it's a lot of hair, you cutting it down, and you just like, okay, bam, there it is. At least if she would have gave us an even all the way around, no edge up, I'd have been cool with that. You cutting chili bowls. No. Even to this day, parents, do not cut your children's hair and give them chili bowls. No, give them an even. Give them a 1 all the way around, or a 2, whatever. Stop. Stop. And I know haircuts are a whole lot more expensive today than they was back then, 20, 30 years ago. So, yeah. Anyway, so, like I said, I experienced that, and like I said, I started cutting my own hair and got pretty good, you know what I'm saying? But it's not about me. So I experienced that atmosphere. And then years later, Ice Cube came out with a movie, called The Barbershop. Matter of fact, I think he did like 2 or 3 of them. Great movies. Great movies. And, The Barbershop kind of depicts, at least black barbershops, I would say. Because black barbershops and white barbershops, I think they're a little different. Just a little different. But in the movie, I think Cedric the Entertainer talked about how the barbershop was the black man's country club, you know, because that's where the fellas go there and they talk smack. They talk about current events and, you know, they talk about the ladies, you know what I'm saying? And ladies, don't feel left out because y'all go to beauty shop, y'all be talking about us bros. Y'all definitely be talking. Matter of fact, I think in Barbershop too, they had the whole barbershop versus the beauty shop, and you know the women in there talking smack about the fellas and this, that, and the other, and then in the barbershop, the fellas talking about the ladies, and or when one of the mamas came in with they son, you know, all the fellas stopped everything like, what? Yeah, mama can get it. You know what I'm saying? So. So, hey, I'm telling y'all, man, we talking smack all month long. So, you know, if y'all looking for just, no, you're going to get this smack talk. So, I got to keep it real for my brother. So, you know, that's what we do at the barbershop. You know, we talk smack, man. You know, we get up in there. Like I said, I haven't been in one in God knows how long. I'll take that back. Since I got to, you know what I'm saying, a little something. You know, I'm kind of not really in there, you know, per se. But I've been I will say this, I've been in the barbershop a whole lot more probably within the last 2 years than I have in the last 20 years. Because for the last 20, 30 years, I've been cutting my own hair. So there was no need to go to the barbershop. Matter of fact, I wouldn't let nobody cut my hair. But I think when I got my dreads cut off, I did go to a barber. And yeah, he hooked me up. He got me right. And even when I started getting the braids, you know, I'm looking at them. When I was getting the braids, I was going to have somebody cut my hair, but it wasn't nobody there to cut it at that time. Well, at least it was a guy there, but he was already cutting somebody else's, and I had to go. So I ended up doing it myself, which is a blessing because when you can do it yourself, hey, you know, you don't need nobody. But, you know, so like I said, the barbershop is a place, you know, where guys go and you know, they just be able to kick it. I mean, it's really, it is like it's just a place to go and hang out and kick it and chill. And, you know, you go in there to look fresh and to get cleaned up. But, you know, you want to go there and just talk, man. Just to be able to talk about things that you can't necessarily say at the house. Things that you can't necessarily say in front of your spouse. You know what I'm saying? It's a place to go that, you know, you can be free in your thoughts, be free in your conversation, and just kind of, you know, and really kind of be like, yo, you know, what y'all think about this? And if I tell y'all ladies, it's a lot of hurt men out there. It's a lot of hurt men out there because, like I said, when they're at the barbershop, that even if they don't necessarily talk about their own personal life, they'll pose a question that basically it's about their life, but they pose the question because they don't want nobody in their business, which I understand. You know, I get that. And even in the movie, you know, you kind of, you know, you see some of that. And so, and I know women, I know y'all do that as well. So I wanted to talk about the barbershop, and I want to talk about just the talk that we have. Because, like I said, it's a place, it's almost like therapy in a way. You know, because even if we don't pose a question or we talk to the guys in the room, you know, we talking to our barber. And, you know, about like, you know, hey, what's going on? I mean, you know, just trying to make it, man, trying to do this and that. And it's not always, we just not in there bashing women or just talking about women. We know, one of my favorite comedians, Marcus D. Wiley, he talk about, you know, about a lot of different things because he goes to the barbershop often, and, you know, they talk about religion and of course, you know, when you bring up religion, you know, everybody in the barbershop ain't saved, ain't, you know, ain't following no type of theology or no type of anything, you know. And so, you know, so they got questions or they got concerns or the reasons why they don't do X, Y, and Z is because of X, Y, and Z. So you know, the barbershop is really a place, man, to really go to and really just be able to express yourself and talk about some things. But it kind of, as I was kind of putting together my season and my episodes, and like I said, y'all, if y'all haven't already checked out this past Wednesday episode of In Love with a Stripper, you know, it's the story of Samson and Delilah. Well, in that story, and most of us know the story of Samson. You know, Samson from birth was told not to have a razor put upon his head, meaning he couldn't cut his hair at all because his strength lied in his, you know, in his hair. That's where his strength came from. As long as he had hair on his head, he was that dude. He was strong. So he ends up getting with a woman that was just like him. And y'all got, and I'm not gonna go into details because I want y'all to really watch that episode because y'all gonna be like, oh. But he got with a woman that was just like him. And because of that, he ended up going to the barbershop. Now, he didn't physically go to the barbershop. Oh, but his hair got cut. Matter of fact, even the Bible says that Delilah had a guy come in and shave his head. So and that's so key because, you know, like I said, I've been cutting hair for like 30 plus years. And so, cut hair a long time. And so I've cut other people's hair. And because, you know, I don't have my license or, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't have a license, but, you know, I still cut hair. And I started out cutting my brother's hair. Then I used to cut my cousin's hair. God rest his soul, Chris. And I used to cut his brother's hair, Gregory. And I've cut other people's, you know. So I would travel. You know, I would go to people's house, cut their hair, you know, but I ain't had no shop. They couldn't come to me. So I would go, you know, to their house or whatever, you know. And so Delilah had a barber come to the house. Hey, I need you to cut his hair. Because he done told me where his strength lies. I need you to come cut his hair. So, you know, dude come in, bam, boom, 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 boom. When that happens, Samson's strength immediately left him. Immediately left him. So, in the barbershop, when men are going to get their hair cut, now, we are unlike Samson. Because number one, the strength that we have, especially as Christian men, we know it relies in God. God is our strength. Wherever we're weak, he's strong. So we know that it's not in, you know, our hair. We know it's not in things. We know it's not in people. You know, our help comes from the Lord. So that's what we go to. But see, when we go to the place like the barbershop to get the haircut symbolizes an opportunity not to just be clean, but it is an opportunity to be able to talk about some things. There's an opportunity to be able to get some things off your chest because men are hurting. Men are dealing with a lot of things. There are a lot of things on men's plates because they out here trying to be husbands. They out here trying to be fathers. They out here trying to, you know, handle 2 or 3 women. Like women, and now, of course, I know ladies, I get it. That's a weight that they voluntarily carrying. But I'm just saying, my point of it is men are carrying weights that are weighing them down. So when they go to the barbershop, it's an opportunity to release some of that pressure, to try to get an understanding of what life is really about. And on top of that, come out there looking brand new. See, Deion Sanders has a saying: when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good. You did. So it's something about looking good. It's something about it like, oh, you know what? Like, I ain't gonna lie. When I was rocking the fro, I was like, hey guys. But ever since I've been rocking the braids, I'm like, hey, what up, y'all? What's up, man? What's happening over there? Because it's just, hey, I look good. On my mom, on my hood, I look, okay. Charlie boy, you know what I'm saying? You need. So it's something about when you look good, when you look good, you start feeling good. So guys, when they go to the barbershop, man, they like, okay, all right, yeah, let's go. But it's more than just that part of it. Because if they're able to go there and be able to talk it out and be able to try to get an understanding of what's going on in their life, that internally, see, the external will fade away. Because in a couple of days, that fresh lineup might not be as fresh. I know for me, I talk about how, my temples, where the gray grow right here. Yeah, I can cut it today. But probably by tomorrow, or at least another couple more days, oh yeah, it's going to be protruding back again. And I'm like, dang. Here go that gray again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's going on the inside, though? What's happening on the inside, though? We live a life as men that we don't quite understand. And there are pressures that are coming from every which angle, and we're trying to figure it out. I talked about in one of my other videos, Fatherless Father, how, there are men out here trying to be fathers that have never been, that didn't have an example of what a father looks like. That's pressure. A man that's trying to be a husband that never saw that in the household. That's pressure. There are men that wants to do the right thing, wants to be with one woman, but there are women that's, hey, that's pressure. Why? Because it's like, oh, she won't. I made a mistake in middle school. And I talked about this in one of my other videos. How I didn't talk about this particular thing I'm going to say, but I talked about how had my dad been there to tell me that, it's okay if a girl, doesn't like you or doesn't want to, and I said how, when a girl would tell me no or said she didn't like me, it crushed me. And so I remember in middle school, there was this girl that liked me, cute little girl. And I'm like, you like me? Okay. So, we went together. Well, then there was this other girl, just all of a sudden, she winking and hey and hi, da. Now, I didn't know nothing about being a player. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and I guess the other girl that was showing me attention. Hear me. Showing me attention. She didn't say she liked me. She didn't say she wanted to be with me. She was just showing me a quick tip. Check your fire. My father used to barbecue, and anytime before he barbecued, he had to get the fire going. And as he was getting the fire going, he was putting in the wood. He was putting in the coals, and he put in the lighter fluid, and he had to build it up so it could start going. But He didn't allow the fire to just be what it was. He didn't walk away and say, okay, it's good. No, he continued to check it. He had to stay on it to make sure that it could properly burn like it needed to burn. You need to check your fire. What have you done? What have you started that you have set aside? What have you done that you have walked away from? What have you done that you have laid aside and be like, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's good. No, the reason why you're not accomplishing or finishing or handling what you need to handle is because you haven't checked your fire. You got to check your fire and make sure that it's still burning at its highest degree. This is Weight Tip. Let's get it. And smiling and googly eyed. Now this other girl told me, hey, I like you. Oh, okay. I want to be your girl. Oh, okay. So we started, talking. This other girl was showing me attention. So because I didn't want to be a player or want to be this guy that was trying to juggle two different girls, I told the girl that liked me, hey, I don't think it's gonna work out. I walked away from it. So then I turned and go to the girl that was, that appeared to like and want to be with me. And I'm like, hey, what's up? She's like, nothing. And I'm like, wait, there's nothing there? She was like, no. And then I'm like, bruh, are you serious? So then I go try to crawl back to the other girl. And she was like, no, I'm good. So I went from not having anybody liking me to having someone to like me, and we talking, to leaving her trying to go to another girl who I thought liked me. In reality, she really didn't. And that could have been a setup from the enemy. A distraction to pull me away from what I had going on here. Now that I think about it. See, I had something going on here that, for middle school standards was solid because she liked me. This girl over here was a distraction. She appeared to like me. She seemed that she liked me. She gave signs that she liked me, but she never said it. So I left the sure thing for an unsure thing. The unsure thing didn't work out like I thought, so I tried to go back to the sure thing. The sure thing no longer wanted me. Now I'm left with no thing. I went from a sure thing to an unsure thing, and then the unsure thing didn't happen, so I would try to go back to the sure thing. The sure thing didn't want me, so I ended up with no thing. Why? Because I was carrying a weight. I was carrying, even in middle school, I was carrying a weight that was so heavy on me that I didn't really understand how much it was weighing me down. So there are men out here that have been carrying things that they don't know. They don't get it. So a lot of times we think, oh, men are just dogs. Men are just trifling. Men are just, and it's like, no, there are grown men out here that are still boys, that are still in that middle school stage, high school stage mentality. Whereas they'll leave a good thing going after a no good thing, and they usually end up with nothing. So they'll leave a good thing, go after a no good thing, to end up with nothing. Now, the reality of that is the women end up being collateral damage. Our women end up being collateral damage because men are trying to figure out who they are. They're trying to figure out, their lane in this earth. And they're using, and we're, I always include me in that, because I'm no better than any other man out here. But we're damaging our women to try to find our way, instead of pulling back and say, you know what, I need to work on me. I need to be better. Because see, when, like I said, these men that are in the barbershop, a lot of them didn't have no training on how to be a husband. No examples. A lot of them didn't have no training on how to be a father, and no examples. And I'm not saying that there's a book out there for it. But sometimes when you grow up in a certain culture, you aren't taught certain things. And it's not engraved into your heart, into your spirit, what your purpose is and what you should be going after. I said it in another video, how, we'll go as men, we'll go to our daughters and we'll say, hey, you're precious, you're pure, keep yourself, don't give yourself to any boy, don't give yourself to any man. But we're not telling our sons that. It's only for the girls. Because we don't want to see one of us doing what we've done to women to our daughters. But it's okay for our sons to go out there and do it to somebody else's daughter. We ain't responsible with that. Hey, boys will be boys. What? No. You train up a child in the way that they should go, so when they're old, they will not depart from it. So it's our responsibility as men, to teach our boys, as well as our girls, but especially our boys. Why? Because they are in the image of who we are. They are our seed. They are our mini-me's. So if we made mistakes, guess what? We need to teach them the opposite so they won't make the same mistake. So there are men in the barbershop that haven't been trained, haven't been, because they've been raised in a certain demographic or a certain society, or, to say, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Get as many as you can get. Don't settle down till you're 30. Don't settle down till you're 40. Don't settle down till you're 50. Hell, don't ever settle down. Like, what? And yet, one of the most precious gifts in this earth, which are women, suffer because of the foolishness of the training or the self-control or the self-discipline that men have, or the men get, or that men consume by our elders. So in the barbershop, you got a collection of old, young, getting old, getting older. You got a whole demographic there. You got grandpa, you got little youngster, you got teenage, you got, out of college or 30, 30 plus. So you got a whole demographic in there. You got a lot of different conversations going on. You got old fools in there. You got young fools. I just wanted to shed some light on understanding that when we go to these places, when we go to the barbershop, we need to go with an understanding that in order to change the view of what's being said, what's being told, you got to be the one. When I talk about weight changes, I say in order to change the world, you got to change the weight. So that weight starts with you. So what weight are you carrying that you need to change? Because if you go in there and you're spitting out all this nonsense and this mess, and these other men are gobbling it up, their blood gonna be on your hands. Why? because you came in there weighty, heavy, and you just unloaded all on them. So for that, man, they did under the boat. So now they walking out of their head. Why? Because how you entered the room. See, we as Christians supposed to be children of light. So it don't matter what the darkness at. When we come in, oh, we supposed to light it up, baby. Why y'all think Jesus was always seen with the sinners? Because he was coming to be the light. They were all dark. They were all walking around in darkness. So he was like, you know what? Just because I'm with them don't mean I'm dark. I'm light. I know who I am. So I'm coming to shed light on the situation. Whether they accept me or reject me, I'm coming to shed light. That's my only purpose here. I'm not coming here to dim my light. I'm coming here to shed light. So as believers, as men of God, we got to shed light in every room that we go into. Because every room that you go into, not going to have a light on. But if you the light, guess what? That room is lit. Bizzle got a song, everything lit, 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 lit. You know what I'm saying? Every room that you go into should be lit. Why? Because you the light. So when you in these barbershops and you getting that tight fade, you getting that tight line up, getting that beard crispy, remember you the light. Yeah, I get it. You know, women can be something else. They can work your nerves. And you just got to talk about it. And go right on ahead, talk about it. But understand this. While you talking about them, what did you do? What did you bring to the table to get her there? Ooh. Stepping on some hair follicles. What did you bring to the table to get her there? Or was she always there? Was she always like that? You ever considered that? Remember, you chose her. Didn't you? Didn't you see? Or did you choose her body? Did you choose her or did you choose her? Ooh, did you choose her or did you choose her body? You know, I talked about in another video that back in the day, men didn't see a woman for her body because she was covered up. She was covered up. Matter of fact, over on the other side of the world, and forgive me if I'm wrong, I think it was Pakistani, Indian women, the women that are all covered up from head to toe. All you can see their eyeballs. The men don't see their body. They covered up. They don't see their hair, they nose, they mouth. They don't see nothing. All they see is hands and feet and their eyes. And they being chosen. Now they might be set up. I don't know. I don't know the dynamic of that. So I'm not gonna. So forgive me if I'm wrong. But back in the day, men didn't see women for their bodies. It was their beauty, you know, their facial beauty. But see, now we got access to it all. Oh, we can see everything. From the rooter to the tutor. We can see it all. So, are we choosing women for them? For their personality? For their inner beauty? Or are we choosing them for their big old booty? Or their breasts? Or their thighs? You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. It look nice. Real nice. But what are you choosing them for? So a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you only thinking of booty and thighs and breasts, that's all you're going to want. Thank you, Lord. But if you think in marriage and mother of children, you ain't going after just the body. She got to have more to offer. She got to have intellect. She got to have, just drive and love the Lord. Not just love him, but have a relationship, intimate relationship with the Lord. That's what you're looking for. How can she elevate what I'm doing? How can she, grow, give birth to not only my earthly children, but businesses and all of that? But if you're only looking at the booty, you're not gonna go that far. And you might even conquer the booty. And I know I'm saying booty, but I'm saying it because I want y'all to hear me where I'm coming from. That might, you did that, and then what? You just made another woman angry. Another woman hurt. That could be your daughter one day. That could be your niece one day. But it's all about you, right? It's all about what you got going on, right? So you go to the barbershop to get tightened up, to talk about what you got going on, talk about what you doing. Men, we got to be better. Like I said, I dedicate this month to us men because I want us to be better. Samson thought he had it going on. But he went to the barbershop and got his hair cut. And he was no longer strong. He was no longer the man that he thought he was. He gave his strength to that woman. He allowed that woman to deceive him and take the very thing from him that he was going to be able to use to rule over the Philistines. The very thing that God placed him in the earth to do. But he went to the barbershop. So this wasn't long. I just wanted to, hit y'all with this because we got to have an understanding, y'all. We got to be better. And I'm going to continue to keep saying that, preaching that, teaching that, whatever the case I got to do. And when I'm speaking to y'all, I'm speaking to self too. We got to be better. Because we got to be better because we got to be better for ourselves. And if we're better for ourselves, we're better for our women. And if we're better for our women, we're better for our children. And if we're better for our children, then guess what? Now we can conquer the world. Now we can deal with the people out there that really need the help. But it starts first with you. So this has been another episode, man. The barbershop. It's the weekend. Don't get tightened up. You know what I'm saying? Get the fresh line up. Get the braids. Get the, get the taper. Get the boosie face. Whatever. Get that ball. Get that. Get all of that. But understand and remember that when you step into a room, you the light. And let your shine on the people, man, so that you know that God is real. And because of God, he sent his son to die for your sins, which is Jesus. And when Jesus arose from the dead, he then ascended into heaven, but he left a comforter, which is the Holy Spirit. And with all of that locked into one, my God, we got the victory. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Continue to keep tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Yo, weigh in. Let's talk about it. Because I don't have all the answers. Not saying that I do. Won't ever claim to have all the answers. Oh, but I know someone who does. I know where I can go to get the answers. And if I can't, I'm going to pray about it. Because like I said, I know who to go to. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. This has been another episode. Another Can't Wait to Talk. And guess what? we gonna talk about it. It's your boy, Dom, Kizzie in the building. Let's get it. Cussing and stuff bleeped out because I am who I am. So, you know what I'm saying? I got to do what I do, man.
Do what you do.
But it's going down. Really.